Welcome everyone. Today's class is a very special class for me because this is dedicated to someone I love dearly who just lost a battle to interstitial lung disease. His name was Prashant Bakshi, and he was a very loved member of my family, and he survived a double lung transplant, but then he had a cardiac arrest. But I wanted to talk about the lungs because we had a support group for him, called longevity. So the longevity associated with the lungs, and lungs are a very delicate organ. Also in Chinese medicine, it's believed that we hold grief in our lungs. So thank you. So grief is just, it sits in our lungs, and over time it can create a lot of chronic issues. So when we lose someone, when we have a trauma, the first place is the heart, which receives a shock. And if that grief is not purged out of our body, it is believed that it sits in the lungs. So today's practices will be about lungs. And the benefit of these practices, of course, is that your lungs have space to breathe downwards. So it's really just great for your capacity, to increase your capacity, and also really great for your immunity. So with that, let's get started with our posture, checking in with our body. How's our body feeling in this moment? Maybe there's heaviness. Maybe there's sadness. There's anxiety. Maybe we're just tired or just relieved because it's Friday. It's gorgeous weather. So just checking in, accepting the body as it is in this moment. And then once we accept, we move forward to making some minor adjustments to our body so energy can flow more easily. And those adjustments are tucking in our tailbone, tucking in our stomach, standing tall. Imagine being pulled up from the crown of your head, and this will stretch your spine even further. Arms loosely hanging by your sides. Knees are soft. This is called our Wuji posture, our primordial posture. This is a standing meditation posture. And we will first do some deep breathing. It's also called diaphragmatic breathing or Qi breathing, placing one hand on our belly and one hand on our chest. And just observing first to see, where are we breathing into? Which hand is moving? Often, this hand moves more than the hand on our belly. We are all born belly breathers, but over time, life puts us in a state of fight or flight, and we become shallow breathers, and it creates a lot of health issues. So the idea is to be able to breathe so much deeply that this hand moves. One visualization to consider is imagining that you have a balloon in your belly that you have to fill up. With each inhale, you fill up this balloon, and with each exhale, you release the air out of the balloon. We inhale through our nose, and we will exhale through our mouth this time to let out a sigh. Inhaling and letting go of any sadness, any tiredness through our sigh. One more. Inhale deeply, filling up our belly, stretching it in all directions, sideways, below, above, filling it up, holding that breath, and letting it go. So as much as you can, you don't need to keep your hand here. This was just to see, see where you are scanning. Breathe in your belly. You can be sitting at your desk and just take some few deep belly breaths, and you will see that your body will then start getting used to getting out of fight or flight into rest and digest. So with that, let's do pulling down heavens. Deeply inhaling, inhale. Raising our arms. Turning our arms to the sky. Continuing to move them. Bringing them close to each other. And very slowly moving them down. One visualization to consider this time is that your arms are really heavy. You have a hard time lifting them. The idea is to slow down, to be able to heal and recover your energy, not just when you're sleeping, but when you're awake. Because otherwise we just keep burning through our energy during the day. And when we sit, it is not as intentional. We're watching TV or our head is full of thoughts. So this is a way of being and rejuvenating with deliberate movement. Your knees are bent, and this way you build endurance as well. And now we're going to activate that sensation of chi or energy. Imagine that there are magnets in your palms, and you're lifting them, and you're imagining that these palms are sucking energy from the earth, bringing it up like two waves, as if you're creating an elliptical of energy around you. And moving them down. So imagining that we are in this ball of light. You can think of this as your auric field, as your bioenergy field. Beautiful. Our first practice is from Taoist in 5. It's for the lungs. Almost all of the practices today are for strengthening the lungs. And so our thumbs and our index finger are a little bit apart. There's a little bit of gap. And you bring them under your collarbone as if you're going to be doing a breaststroke. Bending your knees as if you're sitting on a high stool. Inhale. Again, arms are heavy, so you can only move them slowly. Go as far as your shoulder blades are almost touching or until you can't go any farther. And now exhaling, and you can bring your legs up. Inhaling, bending your knees, moving your arms away from each other, opening up your chest. And exhaling and coming back. You could even do a little bit of that bending, slow looking down, creating a concave. This time we're going to use color and visualization. You can rest your arms as you listen. So the color that we invoke is silver. Why silver? Because every organ has a corresponding element in Chinese medicine. And so the color is silver and the metal is so the color is silver and the metal is silver. So we're going to imagine breathing in the silverish white light. And, some people say it's silver, some people say white, but think of it as moonlight into your lungs and breathing out toxins from your lungs. So let's do this. Inhale deeply, filling up your lungs with silver light. Imagine like moonlight spreading through your lungs, filling up each pore, each cell, filled with this life-giving, nourishing energy. And you exhale out toxins like gray smoke being released from your lungs. And let it go. So not only is the intention to release any toxins, is to release the emotion of grief. Inhale silver light into your lungs, filling up, bathing your lungs with life-giving energy, rejuvenating your lungs. And exhaling out gray pathogenic chi from your lungs through your mouth. Inhaling always through our nose. And exhaling through our mouth. Inhaling, remembering to bend if it feels good and comfortable. Exhaling as if there's smoke coming out of your mouth. Interesting, it's a little bit akin to smoking, but it's a great practice for smokers or people who've quit recently to purge the lungs of toxins. So let's do this 2 more times. Inhaling, filling up our belly. You can close your eyes, trusting that your body is moving exactly as it needs to. Your shoulder blades are almost touching, now your palms are raised up, and you slowly come back. Inhale, filling up with silver light, bathing your lungs. And next. All right, releasing the arms, doing a little bit of shake, side to side. Standing our tippy toes, coming down with the thought to release any blockage in our central channel. And we're going to go into our next practice. Our next practice is pull, bow, shoot, arrow. Most of you have done this with me from 8 brocades. So we're gonna bend, make a horse-like stance, bend from our, bend our knees as if we're sitting in a high chair, making sure our tailbone's tucked in. And now raise your left arm to the side with your index finger pointing up, thumbs. Look at your index finger and imagine you're an archer. And you are focusing on the bullseye in front of you. And you are going to pull the bow and your body is tight. There's tension and focus and there's nothing else you can see, nothing else you can think of except for that. Your aim. What do you want to achieve? What do you wish to receive? Where do you want to be? And for that, you have to first be present. So pulling, holding tight, and relaxing your body, letting the hour go, knowing it's going to the right place. Other side. Inhale, tightening our body, pulling the string, looking at the tip of our finger. This is not just a great practice for lungs, but it's also to release the heat from liver. And letting go. So if you're on any medication, there is heat that builds up in the liver as well. So all our organs are connected. Again, pulling, tightening your body. This is called an instant relaxation technique. So every part of your body is taut with tension. And you're looking sternly at the tip of your finger, releasing liver energy, releasing anger, which is also associated with grief. I know I feel a lot of anger when I'm grieving, have been recently. And letting go. Inhaling, pulling the bow, looking at the aim, releasing everything that no longer serves you, knowing which direction you need to go in, and trusting that with your intention and attention, energy will follow. Letting go. In silence, we're going to do it 2 more times on each side. Beautiful. Relaxing our body. You can make a sighing sound as you're shaking. Shaking itself is a Qigong practice, but there's no proprietary licensing allowed for shaking practice. Everybody does it. Every species has its own practice. You see dogs and cats shaking. So shaking is a way to release tension. We're doing a pulling down heaven right now. And we're going to move to our next practice, which is also from 8 Brocades, called Wise Owl Looks from Side to Side. Inhaling, opening up our palms, looking over our right shoulder, and exhaling and coming back in. So it's a great way to open up your chest, to give your lungs more room to breathe, also to give them a little bit of a squeeze, which is good. A lot of yogic postures and Qigong postures help you move in a way that your organs get a little bit of exercise. That's what stretching does. So this is a stretch as well. Inhaling as you look over one shoulder. Exhaling as you come back. Inhaling and exhaling. Opening and closing. These practices become more dynamic if you breathe through your belly or breathe in your belly. Breathing in a sense of calm and tranquility. Breathing out sadness, grief. Beautiful. Closing with the pulling down heaven, bending our knees, feeling a tension in our palms, an activation in our palms. Our center of our palms are called Lao Gong Point in Chinese medicine. And they are known as our healing spots. not just to receive energy, but to give energy as well. And so this time, our next practice is called for sound healing, to release emotion of grief through the sound shh. And so first we're going to make a ball of light in front of us. This is the common visualization in Chinese medicine. You hold it as if you're holding a big ball of light. You can bend your knees, checking your posture, making sure your tailbone's tucked in, making sure your spine is relaxed and straight. Upright, but not uptight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this ball into our chest. And when we release the ball, when you push it out, we're going to imagine releasing toxins from our lungs. With the sound, shh. Inhale energy, fresh chi into our lungs, bathing our lungs, and pushing out toxins from our lungs. Inhaling acceptance, peace. Exhaling sadness, confusion out of our lungs. Inhaling light, exhaling smoke. And this time really powerfully using the sound to do that. So I'm just going to make the sound in the next 4 or 5 times. Shh. You can make the sound as well. Two more times. Beautiful. Coming back to just standing in our wuji, feeling how our body feels different than when it started. And now we're going to do a meditation, a standing meditation, similar to bringing in light and breathing out, whatever it is, sadness, grief. But we're going to do a little bit of visualization that I'm going to walk you through. So just standing bare feet. Imagine you're standing bare feet on a beautiful full moon night. Closing your eyes, just hearing my voice. You're in this beautiful moonlit area by the ocean. You're walking by the ocean, walking by the waves. The waves are lapping over your feet, kissing your feet and moving away. You feel grateful to be here in this moment. Grateful to be alive. Grateful for every breath that reminds you of how precious and how fragile this life is. And with each breath, you breathe in the color from the moon as if the moonlight is pouring down and you're breathing it into your lungs. And with each exhale, you're breathing out sadness, grief, confusion. Breathing in a sense of peace, a sense of calmness and glory that comes with being alive. And breathing out anything that no longer serves you. And imagine the waves taking it away. Breathing it, the moonlight, bathing your lungs, letting it spill over through your body. And letting any toxins be released through your soles of your feet out into the waves. A few more times, breathing in silver light into our lungs. Breathing out smoke, toxins, emotions that feel heavy out of your lungs, out through your feet into the ocean. Standing, receiving, releasing, and slowly coming back into the room, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, making soft fists to do some acupoint tapping, breathing and drumming the chi in our chest. Great, again, for the lungs, for the heart, to release any blockages. Our meridians are a complicated and beautiful web of energy pathways that run through our body. This time, really breathing and doing tapping around in circle, clockwise and counterclockwise around our breast. This is just a great practice for lymph nodes, for our immunity as well. Now, giving our organs a massage, our liver, our spleen a massage, really connecting to our visualization to these organs as if you are able to touch them and give them a massage. Bringing a sense of gratitude for your organs that function as a whole, as a harmonious whole. Doing the same with your kidneys. Doing some brisk acupoint tapping to your yin and yang channels. Same outside of your legs, inside of your legs, giving yourself a chi facial. Secret to youth. Just kidding, I don't know. And then running your fingers through your scalp to give your scalp and your hair a boost. If you don't have hair, give your scalp a boost. Rub your ears. This is a great technique to relax the entire body. Rubbing them between your index finger and thumb from top to bottom, from bottom to top. Massaging the ears. And also rubbing here, making small little circles around the nose, up and down the bridge of the nose. Great again for people who have sinus. And little circles here, right here, to release tension that we hold in our jaw. It's amazing how much tension we can hold in our bodies. And these lymph nodes right here. So these are great immunity practices, immunity building practices. Again, underarms. And washing off anything that we don't need. Our bodies absorb all the energy it needs. And closing with touching our fingers to each other. Sealing our energy. Taking maybe a moment to think about how we want our day to go, our intention for the day. Feeling a sense of peace and calmness. Focus, energy, and always acceptance for what is. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy to